That was your homework. Please open your notebooks because you were supposed to write this worksheet in your notebooks. Last week in our on our Zoom lessons, we tried to solve this. We tried to give the answers of this work, but we were out of time, so we couldn't do it. So I decided to give the answers on video lessons, so we won't lose time, okay, to use effectively the lesson, because when we are doing online lesson, it is like being in the classroom. I have to give a word each of you, so it takes a lot of time, but when I answer the questions from here, it is easier and it is faster. So when you don't understand, you can stop the video and listen again. So please check your homework and please correct your mistakes. It is very important, okay? It is very important. Please correct your mistakes. So this part, we did this part, so I'm not going to talk about this part again, positive one, and I'm going to talk about negative one. So we are going to rewrite the sentences by using passive, present passive, but in negative form. Number one says that most boys don't watch Tyra Banks show. Most boys here is the subject, Tyra Banks show is the object. We are going to change their places. We never use don't in the sentences because this is passive. In passive sentences, we have to use am is are with verb 3. Okay, so Tyra Banks show, this comes here. Tyra Banks show isn't watched because this is singular. That's why it takes is and negative. Tyra Banks show isn't watched by most boys. And number two, Helen doesn't follow fashion trends. Fashion trends is the object, Helen is the subject. They change their places. Fashion trends come here. Because it is plural, we have to put are, and it says please put it negative form, so we have to put negative one. Fashion trends aren't followed because follow is regular. That's why it takes ed. In number three, some people do not accept fashion changes. Fashion changes object, some people subject. We change their places. Fashion changes come at the beginning of the sentence. Fashion changes, as you remember, for passive sentences we have to use am is are. So this is plural, so I have to use are. Because it is negative, I have to use not. Fashion changes aren't accepted by some people. In number four, Paul doesn't buy fashion magazines. Okay, and fashion magazines, Paul doesn't buy fashion magazines. Fashion magazines is here object and Paul is the subject, so we have to change their places. Paul should come here, fashion magazines come here. Fashion magazines, this is plural, so I have to put are, and it says negative, so I have to put not. Fashion magazines aren't bought by Paul. In number five, my mother is the subject and dresses, this is object, so I have to change their places. Dresses come at the beginning of the sentence. Dresses, this is plural, so I have to use are, and it says negative, so I have to use aren't. Aren't bought by mom. Buy, bought, okay. And some designers don't use innovative materials. Innovative means creative or reshaped, okay. Innovative materials is the object, and some designers is the subject. Innovative materials, objects come at the beginning of the sentence in passive sentences. Innovative materials, this is plural, so I'm putting are, and it says it's negative, so I put not. Innovative materials aren't used by some designers. And in number seven, trendy girls don't wear unfashionable clothes. Unfashionable means old, not trendy. Unfashionable clothes here is the object and trendy girls is the subject, so I have to change their places. I take unfashionable clothes at the beginning of the sentence. Unfashionable clothes, this is plural, so I have to put are, and it says negative, so I have to put not. Wear, wore, worn, this is the verb 3. Aren't worn by trendy girls. And in number 8, most models don't eat cakes. Cakes, object. Most models, subject. So I have to change their places. So I put cakes at the beginning of the sentence. Cakes is plural, so I have to use are, and it wants me to make a negative sentence, so I put not here. Cakes aren't eaten by most models. Eat, ate, eaten. Okay? So, interrogative means question. What kind of question sentence? It is yes/no question sentence. So, I'm making a question sentence. There is an example. Do boys watch Tyra Banks show? Tyra Banks show is the object, boys is the subject. Because this is question, we never use do, does, did, blah blah in passive sentences. In passive sentences we have to use verb to be with verb 3. Verb to be means verb to be means emizar or was verb. Okay, but this is present passive, we use emizar. Okay, so let's start doing it. Number 2, do teenagers read fashion magazines? Fashion magazines is the object, teenagers is the subject. I take fashion magazines here, but in here you see first subject, then emizar, then verb 3 or verb ed. But this is question, I have to change the are with the emizar with the subject. So I take fashion magazines. Are fashion magazines read by teenagers? Does fashion influence young teenagers? Young teenagers is the object, fashion is the subject. I have to change their places. I take this here and I take this here, but teenagers is plural, so I have to put are at the beginning of the sentence because this is question. Are young teenagers influenced by fashion? I want to write here a question to make you understand better. Okay, does fashion influence young teenagers? Young teenagers again. Do you watch Portugal fashion? Portugal fashion is object, you is subject. I have to change their places because this is a question. Portugal fashion is singular, so I put is here. Is Portugal fashion? Watch is regular, because it's regular I put ed here. Ed, see, ed here. Is Portugal fashion watched by you? And number 5, do boys buy online clothes? Online clothes is object, boys is subject. I have to change their places and I have to put clothes is plural, so I have to put are online clothes bought by boys? Buy, bought, bought. Okay, so do fashion magazines sell dreams? Dreams is object, fashion magazines is subject, so I have to change their places. Dreams is plural, so I have to put are dreams sold by fashion magazines? Okay, and do designers make clothes with different materials? Clothes with different materials is object, designers is subject. We change their places. Okay, make is the verb, so the materials and clothes, they are plural, so I have to put are clothes with different materials made by designers. So number 8, do most people accept fashion changes? Fashion changes, plural and object, so it has to come here, but because it is question sentence we have to put are because this is plural. Are fashion changes accepted by most people? Accept, this is regular. And special cases, it means that this is extra, okay, for extra information. What can we do here? So international, so we can for some special cases we don't have to use subject in the sentence, because if we don't know who did the action, if we don't know what the subject is, who the subject is, we are free not to put any by blah blah in the sentence. For example, international designers introduce many clothing styles. Many, this is the object, this is the subject, as we did before. Many clothing styles are introduced by international designers. People appreciate comfortable clothes. Comfortable clothes are appreciated. People, who are these people? We don't know, so I don't have to put by people here, because we don't know who the people, which people. Turkish people, English people, we don't know, so we don't have to put by. I wear cotton clothes. Cotton clothes are worn by me. You know, I is subject. Okay, so we change the subject and object. So when I put the subject pronoun at the end of the sentence, subject pronoun becomes object pronoun. Okay, they sell nice and cheap clothes in this shop. Who are they? Who are they? We don't know. Their names are not here, so I don't have to use they in this sentence. Okay, we don't know who they are. So nice and cheap clothes, this is plural, are sold in this shop. Number 5, she buys fashion magazines. Fashion magazines are bought by her. She, like I, this is subject pronoun. So because we change the subject and the object, when the subject becomes object, we put object pronoun instead of subject pronoun. Some photographers manipulate means change, to change. Okay, some photographers manipulate models' photographs. So models' photographs are object, some photographers are subject. We have to change their places. Models' photographs plural, I have to put are manipulated by some photographers. Please write in your notebooks. If you don't write, you cannot learn. Please do your homework. If you don't understand, please call me. Okay, whenever you want to know anything, you can call me. Okay, have a nice lesson. This week I didn't do our word lesson. Next week I will do our word book lesson on Zoom. Okay, see you, bye. Please don't forget to write your homework, do your homework for the weekend. Love you, take care.